Okay, in this video we're going to discuss the distributive property. And the distributive property tells us we can take a term on the outside of a group of numbers and multiply it by everything on the inside. Had another math teacher once tell me that she tells her students it's like a mama who has to kiss all her babies before they leave the house. So if we look at this, here's our 2. It's on the outside of a group of numbers, and we're going to distribute it or multiply it by everything on the inside. So before they can leave the house, this 2 has to kiss this x, and then it's going to kiss this 4. So we're distributing it and multiplying it by the x, so 2 times x, it's going to give us 2x, plus we're multiplying 2 times 4, we're getting 8. I used plus because I had a plus in the middle. So distributive property again, if I have this expression, simply tells me that I can distribute it or multiply it by everything inside to get a new expression. You could also go in the reverse and divide it all out or factor it out. Okay, so let's do a few examples. 3 times x minus 6. Just be mindful of your signs inside. So I'm going to do 3 times x. I'm going to do 3 times 6. 3 times x gives me 3x minus 3 times 6 gives me 18. Okay, this one I have 3 terms. Same rule. Multiply the 4 by everything inside. So I'm going to have 4 times x, which gives me 4x. 4 times 5, and that's a plus in between, which gives me 20. And then 4 times 9, which gives me 36, right? Yeah. Now, before this is completely answered, I'm going to do a little combining like terms, because although this 4x can't be combined, this 20 and 36 are both constants, so they can be combined. So my final answer here would be 4x plus 56. Okay, what about this one? 2 times 2x, this time I had a variable expression, and then 2 times 4. So 2 times 2x, that's just 4x. It's okay if you have a coefficient in front of your variable. And then 2 times 4, of course you know, is 8. And then here, once again, I have a coefficient in front of my variable expression. But 4 times 3x and 4 times, this time it's a minus 6 or a negative 6. But I'm going to get 12x minus 24. Okay, so very simple. I'm distributing the number on the outside. This is just a little coefficient on the outside. Okay, so what about if I have some integer stuff happening on the inside? We have to remember to use our integer rules. I made you learn them for a reason. So in this case, it's multiplication rules. What are those integer multiplication rules? Positive times positive gives you a positive answer. Negative times a negative gives you a positive answer also. Negative times a positive gives you a negative answer. Positive times a negative gives you a negative answer. Or same signs gives you a positive answer. Different signs gives you a negative answer. So if we look here, I'm still distributing. Negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. I went ahead and did same switch change right away to make this easier for me. So I changed it to a plus. That gave me a negative 6. And I did negative 3 times negative 6 so that I ended up with positive 18. Do your same switch change right away. Get rid of your subtraction. Then your multiplication part will be easier. So if we look at this one, I don't have a negative out here, so I'm not going to worry about same switch change yet, unless you just want to. But I'm going to distribute, so I get 2x minus 16. If you had done same switch change, you get plus a negative 16. That is fine. What about here? This is a plus, so I don't need to do same switch change. I do, however, need to remember my integer rules. Negative 5 times x just gives me negative 5x. Negative 5 times positive 9, opposite signs, gives me a negative 45 as my answer. Okay, look down here. I have minus and negative. I am going to do same switch change. So Keep this one the same, switch the middle, change the last. Now I have plus a positive. Very simple, but I still have a negative out here. So negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 3 gives me minus 9, or plus negative 9, as long as something lets us know that this 9 over here has a negative sign coming to it. Okay, you have a couple more examples in your notes. Please complete this for class tomorrow, and we will work on the distributive property a little more.